All right. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to our class this afternoon. And we are now on the seventh session of our subject IT 313. So first things first, our topic for this afternoon is research objectives, and our objectives are as follows: discuss research objectives. Number two, value the importance of research objectives, and number three, understand research quality objectives. So before that, for research objectives, we all know that we had a well-defined objective of the research are essential component of successful research engagement, no? So if you want to drive all aspects of your research methodology, such as data collection, design, analysis, and recommendation, you need to lay down the objectives of research methodology. So in other words, the objectives of research should address the underlying purpose of investigation and analysis. So it should outline the steps you'd take to achieve desirable outcomes. And research objectives will help you stay focused and adjust your expectation as you progress. So the objectives of research should be closely related to the problem statement. So that is why I told you guys to put your title, no, sa before anything else sa mga project ninyo sa research. Please put your research title above, and then below you can create your assignments, no, or activities. And then research objectives describe concisely what the research is trying to achieve, and you have to summarize the accomplishment as a researcher so that these achievements and projects that provides direction to the study. So a beautiful research objective must be achievable. So tandaan nyo gida. So hindi ka mo magbutang guys ka objective nga hindi nyo ma-achieve or hindi siya madali-dali nga i-solve. So for example, it must be framed keeping in mind that the available time, infrastructure required for the research, and other resources must be attainable. So, ang bago gani kaninyo guys, ang capstone ninyo is good for 3 to 5 months. Kailangan matapos nyo dalagi, no? So, researchable siya dapat. And then, all the infrastructure, all of the resources, all of the outcomes must be placed into a directional motive. Meaning to say, it is achievable. Again, your objective should be stated using action verb that are specific enough to be measured. So action verb, no? Like for example, to complete, to compare, no? To calculate, to assess, to determine, to verify. So all of these things can be achieved, and you are going to use the action verb, no? To appreciate. So avoid the use of vague non-active verb. So hindi nyo paggamiton dayan, no? To appreciate, to understand, to believe, to study. So bawal na siya guys. Non-active na sanda. To appreciate, to understand, to believe, to study. So because it is difficult to evaluate whether they have been achieved. So bawal na siya guys. So dapat ninyong ibutang dyan, to compare, to calculate, to assess, to determine, to verify. To calculate, to describe, to explain. So bawal to appreciate, to understand, to believe, to study. Okay? So as I've said, your objective should be attainable. Now let's go to general objectives. So for general objectives, these refer to the secondary objectives, and these are this provides the detailed view of the aim of the study. So in other words, you get the general overview of what you want to achieve by the end of your study. So example, if you want to study an organization's contribution to environmental sustainability, so your general objectives could be a study of sustainable practices or the use of renewable energy by the organization. So like for example, if you're an IT student and you wanted to study inventory system, so it must be that how can the inventory system affect the transaction inside the sari-sari store. So those are your general objectives. So ginapunto mo dyan sa general objectives ang kabilogan nga benepisyo kung ibutang ninyo ang system ninyo sa isa ka lugar or sa isa ka tawo nga gin-develop niya no para kananda. So mo na. For specific objectives naman guys, so these are short and term and narrow in focus, and general objectives are broken into small logically connected parts to form specific objectives. So ang specific objectives niyo kuno dapat SMART. Ano ang SMART? Hindi globe. Or balik kita sa SMART. What is SMART? SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So dapat ang specific objectives ninyo is SMART, not globe. Okay? So again, ano ang SMART? Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So moreover guys, when we speak about specific objectives, we are going to define the primary aim of the study. And typically, what you're going to provide is the foundation for identifying specific objectives. So in other words, when general objectives are broken into smaller and logically connected objectives, they will be known as specific objectives. So paano nyo siya i-break down? So pareho man bala ka ginaobra ninyo sa journalism, no? So they help define the who, what, why, when, and how aspects of the project. The 4 W's and 1 H. So ang 4 W's and 1 H sa journalism, the same man the guys sa diyan ninyo nga nga sa specific objectives ninyo. So you're going to answer who, sino yung maobra ka study, what, ano yung studyhan nyo, why, insa nga studyhan nyo siya, when, saan nyo obrahon ang study nyo, and how, paano nyo obrahon ang study nyo. So as I've said, specific objectives they are. So you have to find or answer the 4 W's and 1 H. So once you identify the main objective of the research, it's easier to develop and pursue the plan of action. So mahapos na lang guys. Kung masabtan ninyo ng 4W and 1H, meaning on the right track kamo ka-study ninyo. So when we think about research, we often associate it with academicians and students. Pero ang matuod, it is for everybody who is willing to learn and enhance their knowledge. Okay, so that is specific objectives, no? Now, for the next slide, you can see there the sample of the objectives, no? Kung makita niyo guys, ang portion nga diya sa babaw as these are your general objectives. Ang diyan naman sa dalom, ang specifically, this is your specific objective. So basahon ta, objectives of the study. So this study aimed to develop an inventory database system for Paulos enterprises and subject for evaluation to its usefulness to its direct users, the business owner, and by other respondents of the study. So this is your general objectives. So sa dalom niya, specifically, it aimed to, number 1, design the computerized inventory database system of Paulos Enterprises, Poblacion Elaya, San Enrique, Iloilo. Number 2, evaluate the developed system as to its usability. So this is an example of your objectives, no? So specific, general ang sa babaw, specific ang sa dalom. Okay? So for your code of the day, guys, what part of the capstone are objectives? Sa diin yung makita ang objectives ninyo. Okay, so your general objectives can be found on your the chapter 1, which is your introduction. Okay? And to the stars through knowledge, ad astra per sapientia. So thank you very much guys for attending our lecture for this afternoon. So I hope that you learned something no out of our objectives. So as I've said, objectives kinanglan i-plaster insa kay tungod nga objectives ninyo ga-guide sa pinpoint location ka inyo nga study. So do pareho lang da ka dartboard nga may center kag kung paano tiruhon ang dart nga maka bullseye ka mo. So objectives na sila. Now, paano nyo obrahon ang objectives ninyo? Tuya doon, ang sample kaina. And as I've said, there are 2 kinds of objectives. So the first one is general objectives and the other one will be specific objectives. So for general naman, do pahapyaw lang na siya or the overview of the study, no? Wherein you define there ano nga klase ka system ang obrahon kag kun para ka sino. So mo na sabto ninyo. Whereas nga sa specific objectives, you have to answer the 4 Ws and 1 H. So as I've said, ano ng 4 W? Why, when, where, why, when, where, kag ano ganitong isa? Who, what, why, when. Who, what, why, when. And then how. So the 4 W and 1 H. Amo day ay inyong specific objectives. So magambal naman kamo nga general objectives, sabtan lang ninyo ang kabilugan nga pamangkot wherein ang gin-define ninyo, gin-plastar ninyo bala ang pag-obra ka system kag kun para kay sino. So mo lang da guys. I think mapos ang activity niyo for this week. It's about objectives. So the main reason why are you going to put your objectives or or you must have a well-defined objective, it's because this is your guiding start of your study. Meaning to say, kung ma-pinpoint mo yung objective ninyo, sige do da, pwede do kamo ka obra itayo yon. So da pare lang balada ka ka replay nga pugakhang may sight. So para makatiro kamo it bullseye sa target, dapat lantawan nyo ang sight, i-sight nyo at mayad. So ang pag-sight nyo it mayad is ginalantaw mong objective mo. So ang objective mo is tuya sa punta. Ang example kung ano ya bullseye ka tirohon nyo. Or do pareho lang da ka dartboard nga may center nga dapat paghampak mo ka dart, pagaboy mo dapat ano siya sa bullseye. So gina-pinpoint nyo, butang balon ang objective is gina-pinpoint mo doon ang gusto mo matabo sa study mo, kag kung ano ya himuon mo sa study mo, kag kung sino, kag para kay sino nyo i-develop ang study nyo, kag ano ang benepisyo nga mataon nyo sa study nyo para sa ibang nga tao, sa clients ninyo. So amo da ka simple ang explanation naton para sa objectives. Okay? So do you have any questions guys about objectives? So as I've said, dugang ko lang, magsulat ka mo gani ka objective nyo. Dapat action verb ang ibutang ninyo diyan. Action verb. So that are specific enough to be measured. So action verb that is specific enough to be measured. So example naton liwat kagina, to compare, to calculate, to assess, to determine, to verify, to calculate, to describe, to explain. So amo daya ibutang ninyo no. Amo daya gagamiton ninyo guys. Action verb. Avoid the use avoid the use of vague non-active verb. So amo dya duman ni bawal. To appreciate bawal da. To understand hindi pwede. To believe hindi man. To study because it is difficult to evaluate whether they have been achieved. So dapat action verb ya nabutang ninyo, magsulat ka mo ka objectives ninyo ha. Liwat. To compare, to calculate, to assess, to determine, to verify, to calculate, to describe, to explain. So amo daya imuon ninyo action verb no. Okay? So some more questions guys regarding objectives. Okay. Since nga why ka mo question, thank you very much guys for attending our class for this afternoon. See you tomorrow more evening sa the same subject and ITPE 3 demo which is lantawan nyo guys ang video ninyo sa ITPE 3. Tuyan ninyo tamdan ang activity niyo sa ITPE 3. Okay? So more or less guys, para hindi kita magsala, I think ang demo nga buhaton naton sa Friday sa ITPE 3 will be the same demo kung makita ninyo sa dang YouTube ninyo. Nga gin-post ko karang nagligad lang or kagabi. Sige guys, salamat gid sa pag-attend. Mabalik pa ako sa eskwelahan abin no, gadali gid ako. Okay di ako sa balay guys, gapangalasi kaninyo. Kay ang signal sa eskwelahan indit manami tuya. So mabalik pa ako sa eskwelahan tulad no. For any inquiry or business that you wanted to tell me, please endeavor to PM me guys ha. If you have questions regarding our activity or sa piyak naton nga subject. So salamat gid sa pag-attend ka klase naton kag mayong hapon sa tanan. Ang code of the day gali basahon ko liwat para hindi malipatan. So what part of capstone are objectives? So the objectives is found in chapter 1 which is introduction. Okay? Sige. So that will be our code of the day. Sige, salamat. Pero tomorrow pa man due ang code of the day, tomorrow evening. So it's all good, no? So salamat. Bye-bye guys. And halong-halong lang. So stop ko ng recording.